Anyways, moving on to the to race number 11, the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. I don't know if Big Ass Fans still sponsors these, but I always love the Big Ass Fans Dirt
Does
Mile.
not say that this time.
Yeah, so I don't know. There are no sponsors on this, so that might just be the Daily Racing Forum just not wanting to give out any free ads. I'm sure there are definitely sponsors on these races. Anyways, this is going to be the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, of course, a grade 1 for 3-year-olds and up, a purse of $1 million. And as the name says, we are going a mile on the dirt. Raider Jim, I'll let you get us started on the Dirt Mile.
Well, let me just throw this out there for your consideration. I can see next year Breeders' Cup first off the bench Dirt Mile. I like the sounds of it.
We're going to need to get that monetization started real quick, but
we'll start it going. Let's get a GoFundMe going for that one.
There we go.
Okay, so we've got in this one a smaller field, 10 entries. And I will say, Brittany Yurton, if you know who she is one of the best female handicappers and knows what she's talking about. Her statement on one of her programs that I was watching this afternoon, this is probably the best dirt mile field in Breeders' Cup history. And that's to say something when you're making that kind of a statement, and she's a lady who would know. So with that said, who's the favorite? There's only one horse that's going to win this race, and it's the 3-horse Nysos. And who's riding that horse? Flavien Prat. Who's training it? Bob Baffert. There it is. Bob's going to win this one. And then he's also got 2 other entries that can probably get him either to surpass, if he hadn't done it by this race, could surpass D. Wayne Lucas or tie D. Wayne Lucas now. And that is going to be number 2, Goal Orient at 6-1, Luis Saez. Again, you've got that West Coast thing going on where these guys know the track and the jockeys are very, very tuned in. This is going to be a good race for Bob Baffert. He's got goal oriented number 2. Also has the 7-horse Citizen Bull, and at 10-1 with JJ Hernandez on board, more of your underneath look. It's going to be the 3-horse Nysos. And then I also like really to come in second or to challenge Nysos, the 6-horse Full Serrano at 7-2. That horse is going to be one to be reckoned with. That's John Sadler, and Joel Rosario is going to be riding that horse. So for me, White Abarrio, like the horse, have always appreciated, been a little bit off this year, hasn't been as reliable as normal. And so I like Nysos, Full Serrano, Citizen Bull. Maybe I might actually put Goal Oriented above Baffert's other horse, over Citizen Bull, just because I think he's got a better chance.
Yeah, this is another opportunity for a repeat with Full Serrano winning the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile last year, going off at 14 or 13-1.
Yeah.
And that is an Argentinian horse, so shout out there. Has made the move here to North America over the, going back to last year, even ran in the Pacific Classic last year, had hopes of maybe getting into the Classic, but had to settle for the Dirt Mile, and it worked out pretty well. But I really do like Full Serrano here. A lot of it's mainly the value, a little bit more value than Nysos, but we'll see. The numbers very much fluctuate. Obviously, you mentioned Nysos. Really hard outside of the value to poke holes in this race or in this horse. You mentioned Bob Baffert, Flavien Prat. I'll go a little deeper. One of my favorite horses and one of the best pedigrees you can have with Nysos with Nyquist as your Nyquist as your sire. Took me long enough. And even with Bernardini as on the dam side, not an exact dam, but once removed. So a lot to like about Nysos, except for that 8-5. So we're looking elsewhere. I've always been a big fan of Mystic Dan. Obviously, we go back to what this horse has kind of been able to do. It's been running in the Derby, won the Derby, I should say, at 18-1. Beat out, Forever Young in Sierra Leone a couple years back, or last year, I should say. And those horses are running in the Classic. So Mystic Dan, I don't want to say has kind of been left behind. I think Mystic Dan ran a race of its life and kind of leveled out, which is perfectly fine in this division. I really do like Mystic Dan. Kenny McPeak is there. $4.8 million in winnings for Mystic Dan. Very, very surprising for a horse that only cost $10,000 to breed. So that is what we call a hell of a return on investment. So keep an eye on Mystic Dan. And now as you get a little bit kind of the underneath stuff, looking for some value, the 5 horse intrigues me. Will need a massive jump up, but is very consistent. Last 3 runs have all been at 93s when it comes to the buyer scores. Now, full disclosure, 2 of those were ungraded stakes races, and the last was a grade 3, but it was the ACAC. But we are talking about a Breeders' Cup race here, so that's why you do see this horse at 20-1, something to keep an eye on. And then, of course, full Serrano, I did talk about. You mentioned Citizen Bull. We need a rebound here. Going back to the Kentucky Derby, really did not run well. It went off at 14-1, but I did not expect it to finish 30+ lengths off the lead. JJ Hernandez, last time out, it was his first time aboard this horse, and they ran a career tying best 98 in the shared belief at Del Mar. This will be its 5th run at Del Mar. We'll look for its 4th win here. But that shared belief, look, it's an ungraded stakes race. So you want to talk about a massive jump up in class. That's definitely it. But considering this horse was running in the Kentucky Derby earlier this year as someone that I kind of had my eye on, and now we're seeing this horse at 10-1 in a Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. I like the value there. And one final one, just because it seems like this horse always seems to make it onto my radar, the 8 horse, Chancer McPatrick. I think we expected a lot more out of this horse. Still only 3 years old. Still has already pretty much got its money back from its yearling sale, making over $720,000 already. But the numbers have kind of flatlined a bit. 96 last time out was its career best, hopefully, but that was only able to run in 4th in that one. It's not Irad this time. Instead, it's Jose Ortiz aboard. But Chad Brown, you're not going to see a 15-1 horse trained by Chad Brown too often. Chancer McPatrick, a horse to keep an eye on.